Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Elber, and today we're diving into something that a lot of artists overlook. But it's mad important, trust me. Ever heard a song that sounded cool, but then you find out the story behind the lyrics, and suddenly it just hits way deeper? It's like that with bare tunes, man. You hear something, you vibe with it, but then someone drops a little bit of context, and bam! Whole new level unlocked. Suddenly those lyrics aren't just words. They're a window into someone's actual life. And that connection, that's powerful stuff, bruv. It's what separates a track that gets a few plays from a track that gets fans for life. It's that secret sauce that makes your music resonate on a completely different frequency. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty of why this context thing is so crucial for your own music, I want to hear from you lot. Drop a comment real quick and tell me a song that hit different for you once you knew the story behind it. What was it? What changed for you? I'm genuinely curious to see what tunes have had that effect on you. Don't be shy. Let's get the chat flowing. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about why art hits harder with a backstory. You could be listening to a perfect beat, but without a story, it's like eating plain chicken. Now, imagine that beat was made after a massive argument. Suddenly, it has a mood, an atmosphere. Even a simple beat hits harder when you know the artist's mindset. You're not just hearing sounds, you're hearing emotion. It's proper psychology. We're wired for stories. We get invested in characters because we know their motivations. If you know one guy is avenging his dog, suddenly you're on the edge of your seat. It's the same with music. That rapper spitting bars about struggle, if you know they came from nothing, those bars have weight. Context gives art layers. It gives it depth. It transforms it from a product into an experience. Think about some of the biggest artists out there. Part of why they're so massive is because we feel like we know them. We know their come-up stories, their beefs, their celebrations, their losses. All that stuff feeds into how we perceive their music. It adds to the legend. It adds to the impact. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Elber, mate, I ain't trying to write a whole autobiography for every track I drop. Some things are personal, innit? And you're absolutely right, fam. You don't gotta tell it all. You don't need to lay your entire soul bare for the world to pick apart if you don't want to. That's not what this is about. It's about finding that balance, giving just enough to create that connection without oversharing. The magic is in the tease, the little breadcrumbs of context that make people lean in and want to know more. It could be a caption on your Instagram post when you announce the track. Something simple like, wrote this one on a rainy Tuesday when I was feeling a bit reflective. Boom. Instantly, people listening on a rainy Tuesday or people who get reflective have a little hook. It's not a massive revelation, but it's... Or think about a voice memo. Imagine dropping a short snippet of the original voice note where the melody idea first hits you. That's raw, that's real. People love that behind-the-scenes glimpse. It just builds that connection, you see? It makes the music feel less like a product manufactured in a void and more like something crafted by a real human being with real experiences. And people connect with people, not just with perfectly polished audio files. Alright, this is a big one. Probably the most important takeaway from this whole video, so listen up. At the end of the day, people remember what they feel, not the technical wizardry. Emotion wins over perfection every single time. You can have the most flawlessly mixed track, but if it doesn't make anyone feel anything, what's the point? Think about your favorite songs. It's the emotion that makes you go back to them. It's how that song made you feel the first time you heard it. That feeling is what sticks. People won't remember the specific compression settings you used. They'll remember the story behind the second verse, the one that made them go, wow, that's deep. That's the stuff that creates a bond between you and your listener. When you give people a glimpse into the emotion behind the music, you're giving them a direct pathway to feel it more intensely. If they know you wrote a song in a moment of pure joy, they're more likely to tap into that joy when they listen. If they know it came from a place of heartbreak, that sadness will resonate even more. It's about being relatable, being human. Nobody's perfect, and your music doesn't have to be either. Alright fam, that's pretty much the long and short of it. Context is king, emotion is queen, and together they make your music rule. It's not about exposing your whole life story with every track, but about giving your listeners a little something extra, a peek behind the curtain that helps them connect with your art on a much deeper, more personal level. When they understand the why behind your music, the what becomes so much more powerful, so much more memorable. So next time you finish a track, before you just upload it and hope for the best, take a moment. Think about what made you write it, the mood you were in, the story you were trying to tell, even if it's just to yourself. And then think about how you can share just a piece of that with the world. A simple caption, a quick story, a line in an interview. It all adds up to build that bridge between your art and your audience. Trust me, it makes a world of difference. Hopefully this has given you a bit of food for thought, maybe some new ideas on how to present your music and connect with your listeners. It's all about building that community, that tribe, around what you create. If this helped, if you got any value from this at all, make sure you hit subscribe and tap that bell so you don't miss the next one. We've got more content coming your way. Drop a like if you're feeling generous, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.